Good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington on Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. This is the Diaspora Forum. I am Kip Stube.
And I'm Marvelous Nhlanhla Moses, broadcasting from my home in Washington, D.C. due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Welcome to the Diaspora Forum.
Tonight on the Diaspora Forum, we're talking to Zimbabweans living in different parts of the world. And we know that there are so many Zimbabweans marvelous living in countries like the USA. We've got some in Britain, in Australia, and in all parts of the world. Definitely, this is a topic to always think of every time, because these are lovely people that left their country and now they are all over the world. So iko lokho ke marvelous sikhokha ngakho namhlanje izizalwane zeZimbabwe ezihlala kwamanye amazwe siyakwazi ukuthi bayenza into ezijiyeneyo kakhulu marvelous. Abanye ngabantu abasebenza imisebenzi emihle, abanye ngabasebenza imisebenzi engani ngakhanyi ukuthi yangaphi, kodwa bayaziphilisa, bathumeza imali enzima kwele Zimbabwe fika kuma-billions kuma-remittances. So ke kambe lamhla sicabanga ukuthi singathini ngabo, sikhuluma labo namhlanje kuhlelo lwethu. Kunjalo marvelous.
Aiwa, tinokuchingamidza nemufaro pano pachirongwa chedu chatinotarisa tichitaura zvakare nezvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zvinogara izvo kunze kwenyika. Nhasi pachirongwa chedu tichange tiri kukurukura nezvimwe zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zviri kubata mabasa akasiyana-siyana uyezve nemabasa avari kuita kubatsira vari kumusha. Tichange tiri kuda kunzwa kuti iko kunyika kwavari vari kuita mabasa api, chii chakaita kuti vafunge kuti vabatsire kumusha kuZimbabwe. Uyezve tichitarisa kuti zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zvinogara pasi rose, nekuti tinoona kuti munzvimbo dzakasiyana-siyana tinoona muine zvizvarwa zveZimbabwe. Saka tichange tiri kutarisa kuti ndezvipi zvavakatarisana nazvo parizvino, uyezve vari kuita sei kuti vabatsire vari kumusha, pangave pari panyaya dzezveupfumi, panyaya yekutaura nyaya yekunyoresa kuvhota, nyaya dzezvematongerwo enyika nezvimwewo, nekungoti vari kuzvigona sei kwavari ikoko.
Yes, our first guest is Professor Elliot Masocha. He is living here in USA, but he will tell us exactly where he is and how he's doing and all those things. So welcome to the program, Professor Masocha.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for listening, wherever you are.
Thank you very much. So we know that you are in USA. So tell us a bit about where you are, what you're doing, that kind of thing in English. Then Marvelous will make a follow-up to that.
I came to the United States in 2000 in Columbus, Ohio, going to school at Ohio University. And I didn't waste time much before I came to the United States to look for low-paying jobs. And within 3 years, I had done a lot of things in Zimbabwe because I always thought of where I came from, just the same way as we can say colonialists when they colonized Africa, they never forgot where they came from. That's why we see in Western countries, wherever we are, Zimbabweans in the diaspora, we see all that development and we wonder where that money came from. It came from those people when they went to the diaspora in different parts of the world and colonized their other countries. So for us in the diaspora, I really concur with you. Concur with you when you said people in the diaspora. Those are some of the strongest people you can ever find in the whole world, because their income, no matter how little it is supporting two economies. Because where we are here in the United States or wherever, Australia, Beira, we have a life that needs money. But we never forget people at home. We either send money home or we just invest or send other items home. And for anyone who has been in the diaspora, I think you can support me here that it's never easy for anyone to earn money enough to support two economies. One, the economy of Zimbabwe, we support it in billions of dollars every year. But here we also have lives that are very much expensive. The cost of living here is very much high, and we really don't have money. In most cases, we even borrow to support our countries at home. So I have done that. I have done a lot of things right in the rural areas where I was born, where even my father and mother have passed away, and I don't even have a home there, but I was born there.
maybe tell us a little bit, where exactly is the rural area where you are talking about, and what prompted and moved you to now go back and invest, even though your parents are now late?
I come from Masvingo province, Murinye area, just after Kayodemo, the rural areas that are there. That's why, I grew up. That's why I went to school as well, from grade 1 all the way to Form 4. And you can't imagine that I failed my Form 4 and repeated and never failed again, to the point where now I have 5 degrees. And besides having 5 degrees, but I have done, what some people can say wonders back home. I have managed to, sponsor a solar borehole that supplies water for up to or more than 2 kilometers with 2 kilometers with taps and those Jojo tanks. And besides that, I realized that people don't have a grinding mill that is close by, so I bought people in my village a grinding mill for them to start to learn how to do business and support themselves. Themselves. I'm totally against people giving people cash and keeping on giving people cash, because I don't want to create dependence, and then I will start to complain that they always ask for money. I would have it would be my fault for just giving me the money. You can see some pictures right there. That is where I was born, in the middle of nowhere, where there is no clinic. There is people have been drinking water from wells, but now you can't imagine the happiness they have. And my next project is to package water, bottled water, that is going to come from that rural area. You see, it's going to be amazing. I also formed sports teams, men and women as well. Please do not forget women. They also want to be much happy as we are. So I formed netball teams for women of all ages. They know how to manage themselves. So don't worry about managing themselves. Just give them resources and allow them to give you feedback on how things are going. And I also sponsored some chicken projects for women who made a commitment that they will succeed no matter what. I only started them, and then once I do that, they are off on their own and keeping on sustaining their business. And I'm also planning to use the water for community gardens. So everybody is going to have his own little piece of garden within the community garden. The water is already there. And remember the power of a farmer may be in soil, but if soil is dry, I say the power of a farmer is in water. The picture that you see there, that's where I was born and grew up. It's in the middle of nowhere. No road network there. When we go there, we go through the mountains, no clinic and nothing else. But look at how we can lift each other up, so that those people are also going to lift us up through their prayers, through their best wishes, and through building themselves around and sending kids to school. One day a millionaire is going to come from that village. Okay. One day a footballer like Mane is going to come from that village, from that soccer ball that you can send there. And also I never forgot teachers. I never forgot schools. I have shipped thousands of books to different universities, and I pay school fees for orphans. And I started one program that I want everybody to really try to do, that teacher appreciation program. We should never forget our teachers. For us to be here where we are in any country of the world is because of the teacher that opened our eyes, the teacher that opened our mind. And teachers go through a lot. If you can just send a ballpoint pen, it's going to make a difference. If you can just send some items for prize giving ceremonies, that's the one thing that they said. Well, we don't think about ourselves as teachers. We think about these kids. We want to motivate them. And for ladies in the diaspora, wherever you are, do not forget sanitary wear for girls. Please do not, because the power of any country is in a woman.
Yeah, loke Professor uSiqamfundo Masocha. uMasocha ke ule inhlelo zakhe ezijeneyo. Inhlelo lezi zikhona ngale eMrinye lapha dabuka khona. So usegebhe umgodi, uthi njalo uyanceda isikolo, njalo ababalisi labanye abantu abatshiyeneyo. So ke uthi lingakhohlwa lapha elidabuka khona nxa ukuthi selisenza inhlelo. So uyakhuthaza abantu sibili ukuthi besebenze kakhulu, besebenzele lapho abadabuka khona. Ngokutsho kwakhe uthi that place eliyibonayo khonapho-ke emfanekisweni okhona khonapha is a place where vele lititiyoya does not cry anymore. So uthi vele indawo engani nxa ungayibona yakhala lenyembezi kodwa uyazama phela. Marvelous uthi uyazama kakhulu.
Aiwa, tinokuchingamidzayi nemufaro pano pachirongwa chedu muzvinafundo Masocha, apo nhasi tiri kutaura nezvizvarwa zveZimbabwe zviri pasi rose pamabasa avari kubata. Tombodzokera kwamuri kuti imi pari zvino muri muzvinafundo mungatitsananguriro kuti sei makazofunga kuti muwanikwe muchidzokera kunzvimbo yamakazvarirwa kana kuti yamakakurira muchibatsira ikoko?
Ndakabona zvinoitwa navamwe buno kuAmerica vobuno kuAmerica zvizvarwa zvobuno kuAmerica kuti kwatinoti kumaruzevha kuAmerica kwakasumuka, asi wakasumudza ikoko ndiani? Zvekare chakaita kuti tidzokere ikoko kunoita zvinhu kumusha kwauri zvokuti tose kwatakazvarwa hakuzombofi kwakachinja. Tinodefiniwa, tinorespektiwa zvichienderana nokuti unobvepi. Ukaona uchinyara nokwaunobva kana newo unenge uchinyadzisavo. Saka ndio zvakandisumudza izvo. Zvekare ndiri munhu wendingatini wechivanhu. Zvidzidzo zvangu zvandiri kutaura nyangwe ndiri kumabhizinesi zvangu, asi ndiri murayiridzi wechishona wakafunda chishona muZimbabwe kusvika pamasters level nokufundisa chishona zvekare muZimbabwe. Saka ndinonatsokuziva kuti tiri vana vevhu, but kwatiri ikoku kana kuri kuAmerica, Australia, Bera, vhuri riri kuhandi redu. Tiri vana vevhu kwatakazvarwa, nyangwe takazvarirwa mumaguta, asi ngatirangarire kuti madzitateguru edu akazvarirwa kumisha. Maguta atiri kuona iwayo handi isu takaavaka, isu tikavakawo maguta edu kumisha. Sezvamunogona kuona paFacebook page pangu ndakati chishuviro changu pandakaisa mapicture pakatonyorwa chishuviro changu ndechekuti ndichavakawo guta rangu kumusha, kwandichazoisawo mauniversity kumusha ikoko, maairport kumusha ikoko, nokuti pasina kumusha ikoko hapana ini. Ndinodefiniwa nokumusha ikoko kuti unobvepi, ukati ndobva kwaMurinye, ndobva kuTopora. Kwakadii kuTopora iko? Kwedu kune mvura. Ndavawo nezvokudada nazvo, kwete kuswera tichidada nezviri kuAmerica zvatisina kuvaka, zvatakawana zvakavakwa navamwe zvisiri zvedu. Taakudadawo nezvedu. Kumusha ikoko muchaona kuchizobvawo bottled water iya inotengeswa mumashopi iyai inenge ichibva ikoko, nokuti mvura iriko. Changosara chete ruzivo rwokuti tinoipeka sei mvura iyoyo titengesevo zvinobva kumusha kwedu ikoko zvizotengwawo kuAmerica ikoko. Zvinonyadzisa chaizvo kuona vanhu vanenge vachimwa mvura yemumabhodhoro maAmerica. Mukatarisa payakanyorwa muchaona kuti zvairi mvura yeCoca-Cola, zvairi mvura yePepsi. Vana Coca-Cola nana Pepsi makambani okuAmerica havana kuenda nemvura kuAmerica ayo. Vari kutitengesera mvura yedu muZimbabwe, simba redu rokupeka mvura iyoyo. Isu tine mvura yacho, takafunda. Zimbabwe inyika yakafunda kudarika dzose dzomuAfrica. Ngatishandise njere dzedu idzodzo kusumudza kwatakabva. Kuna maresources akawanda. Ndakadzidza zvakawanda kuna vaStrive Masiwa kuti vakapa munhu wese cellphone. Zvanga zvisiri nyore, nokuti muupenyu kana ukasava unokupikisa haubudiriri. Hapasati pamboita munhu wakabudirira pasina opposition. Saka opposition yavanhu vachati hazviiti, asi uchaona kuti iwe zvofanira kumotivheta kuti zvokuona kuti zvinoita chete. Zvandinokurudzira vanhu ndezvekuti aiwa, rima minamato kubva kuvanhu, nokuti hama dzako dzikakunamatira dzine favor, hadzizombofi dzakakunamatira zvakaipa. Mufundisi akakunamatira unongokunamatira zvakanaka chete asingazvizvo. Asi vamwewo vanhu vakaipa, patinotenga zvimwe zvinhu mungava mumastreet chaimo mutaundi, ngatizame patinogona napo kusakumbira bhasera. Kune kwakutova kubira murombo uri mustreet. Ngatitovapa bhasera ivo vacho vatitengesera. Kwatinoti isu kuya uku, let's buy expensive. Tiparadzire ufumi hwedu kuvanhu vedu kuZimbabwe.
Yeah, so I'm told that you've got another project, a poultry project, in which you invested in one place and then the whole village is getting fed. So tell us a bit about that project.
Yeah, the project started with women, because women approached me when I went there and say, well, we are already organized here, because at the basic of all projects we can think of, it's organization of those people who are going to participate. So women said, well, can you please give us this? Okay. And I said, well, I have no problem about that. I just want to know how much it is. And it was really cheap. It was less than $100 to buy 25 chicks, and on top of that 150 kg of starter mesh. So I did that right in my immediate village, and then after that other women as well in some neighboring villages requested the same, and I gave them the same as well. And then those men as well say, what about us? I say, okay, I'm going to give you the same, and I want to see competition of success between you and women. And then some women say, we don't have entertainment at all. We can do whatever projects we can do that you sponsor us, but we also want to be happy like men. That's why I bought uniforms. And you can see the moment they put those uniforms, the moment they throw that ball, to each other, look at their faces, you see how much they are happy, very much happy. And that happiness is a source of inspiration. Look at the kids now, they look at me as if, I am somebody who have lifted them, and they are ready to lift everybody. If you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. It will also brighten your path. So, and now the next move is community gardens. We already have water, we already have everything. We already have the know-how. So that know-how of those people back home, those people who request those projects, is the only thing we need. They don't have income, and they will learn as well through mistakes. Not everybody is going to succeed. So don't give up if some are going to fail, because failure is part of life. I failed Form 4 myself, and look where I am right now, teaching people in the United States in their own language. And I'm a Shona teacher. So anybody, don't look down upon anyone. Please put women ahead of us, because, they are the ones who feed us.
Thank you very much. Let's see who we have right now. I think there are some people who are trying to join us, but they are falling off marvelous. I think maybe that's a connectivity problem in Zimbabwe, and we are going to get them as soon as possible. But maybe before we get them, we've got a traditional leader in Ndiweni. So I think you still remember Ndiweni. He's in London. He has been getting some medical help. He has got an eye ailment, but he appears to be preparing to go back home. So let's see what happens next. So maybe there's a guy here who wants to come in. Let's take the guy first, and then we are going to have people coming in bits and pieces. So instead of Ndiweni, let's go to Thembelihle Ndlovu. Baba Ndlovu, siyakwamukela ukuhlelo baba.
Yebo baba Dube, unjani?
Asiphilile. So wakade sikhuluma ngempilo yakho, sibile ukuthi kambe uphila njani khonapho lapho khona, njalo lokuthi usebenzani, kwezithi abantu babekwazi umuntu esikhuluma la ukuthi mbani. So akusitshela kancane ukuthi wena ngubani.
Mina nguThembelihle Ndlovu. Ngizalwe eNsiza, ngikhulele khona indaweni enhle kakhulu, izwe eli-right kakhulu, isigaba esi-right. Ngasuka ngeza kwele South Africa, ngingumfana nje ngisakhula. Ngaba right, ngafunda umsebenzi we-plumbing ne-electric. Lo enikhuluma naye manje, ngisasekuwo lo msebenzi, sengu-7 years manje, ngisebenza i-plumbing ne-electric.
Yeah, so
kuyona into engiphilisayo.
So waqala njani ukwenza i-plumbing yakho le?
Kwaba nzima kakhulu baba Dube, ngoba ngalesiya sikhathi mangiqala ukufunda, ngikhumbula umuntu owangifundisa umsebenzi phambi kokuba ngiye esikolweni. Yayindoda yayinomusa kakhulu, because bengihola u-R50 ngeviki, sometimes ngingayitholi. Kodwa manje ngoba ngangivehle nami nginesifiso sokuthi into engiyifunayo kumele ibe sesandleni sami nasegazini, ngabekezela. Kwaze kwaba yimanje, njengoba ngikhuluma kumanje sengibizwa ngoNdlovu. Kuwukuthi kwakunzima baba Dube, kwakunzima kakhulu. Ma kwakuyisikhathi sempi bengizothi bekusempini.
So singathi okwenza kakhulu kuyini nxa sikhangela i-plumbing kuzobuya le-electricals lezi, uyabusenza?
Into engiyenza kakhulu ngenza i-plumbing. And then i-plumbing ukhumbule phela babuduba ukuthi i-plumbing you can start to say i-plumbing ukhuluma ngokufaka amagiza, but i-plumbing you can start around from municipality until endlini ngaphakathi. So okwamanje sidila ku-insurance, sibhekana namagiza, i-maintenance nje kusho ukuthi iqala phansi izindlu, ama-toilet, amabhavu nje iqala phansi yonke i-pipe work, install igiza, iyona nje into engibhekane nayo kumanje.
Yeah, so kulula kanganani ukuthi wenze umsebenzi lo kumbe vele kuyakusinda njalo nxa kulenzuzo kuzuzakala njani konke kuzuzayo njengomuntu nje?
Into engayitsho babuDube mina ukuthi ngisuka ngikholelwe emandleni kaNkuluNkulu ukuthi ma uNkuluNkulu eyiyo into akunikeza yona kumele ubambe khona lapho uqiniseke, ngoba ungafuna ukugxuma uye ngale nangale ugcina sewuthi abantu bayakuthakatha kungasilutho. Ngithi mina lento engikuyona manje inzuzo ikhona i-right yamphilisa cause nabantu abami bayithola iplastiki. Uyayibona beyithola iplastiki kungenza nami ngizibone ukuthi ngibaba endlini. And kungenze futhi ngingacabangi ukuthi umsebenzi lo ngawuyeka. Ngibe nesifiso sokuthi ingakho ngithi sengize ngatry ukuthi ngenze icompany yami ngisasebhizi ngayo cause ngifuna abanye abafowethu bafunde nabo ukuthi basebenze i-plumbing. Umsebenzi wesandla awupheli. Wonke umuntu ozalwa manje uyafisa ukwenzela i-toilet, uyafisa ukwenzela i-sewage, uyafisa ukwenzela yonke into. Isikhuluma ngomsebenzi ongapheli babuDube.
Yes, singathi ke abafisa ukuxhuma khonapho benzeni bakudinga njani?
Mina inamba zami zokuxhumeka baba u073 mawusegoli 073 951 3333. Ngiphinde futhi 073 951 3333. Ulwazi umuntu ngiyamnikeza for free. Isikhathi esiningi baningi abafana sembasizile basebenza kumanje sinokuthi makunomsebenzi oma-piece work siyababiza sesimnika lokho naye akutholayo ayasiza abantu abakhe. Asikhethe ukuthi ngubani ngoba okuzokusiza kusasa usuka ungazi ukuthi nguye lowo muntu omcindezelayo noma ngomunye umuntu. So asikhethe ukuthi ngubani. Usizo siyakunika mawufundela umsebenzi siyakufundisa sizosuka sesiya-ke esikoleni sesiyafundela ukuthi ube ne-certificate phela ngoba ulwazi sewunalo.
Yes, siyabonga kakhulu ke sicela ubambe khonapho ke ungayikhatshana. So what Mr. Thembelihle Ndlovu is saying is that he's a plumber and he does a lot of electrics, electronics, let me put it that way, or electrical work, if we have to put it in a proper sense. So he does a lot of that and he's in Johannesburg. So he started from humble beginnings and now he has got some people that are assisting him. So he does a lot of work in Johannesburg area. And if you wish to contact him, I think he has given people his number out there. And now we are joined by Mr. Nhlanhla Moses Ncube. So we are always discussing politics with him, but today is totally different. So want to understand him. Who is he? This guy is always talking politics. Does he have a life? Does he have, Mr. Ncube, how are you?
Fine, and you, babuDube?
Very well. Can you tell us a bit about yourself today? There's no politics.
Yes, today you are catching me unaware.
Yes.
I'm Nhlanhla Moses Ncube, born and bred in Kai, educated in Kai, and at Gweru Teachers College. Then I a teacher by profession, but now my title is of a lecturer here in South Africa, working for the Department of Higher Education and Training. I came to South Africa in 2007. Then I worked as a security guard. Then from there, I got employed by the Department of Basic Education. But later on, we were changed. I'm working in the what are called community education colleges. So I'm employed by the Gauteng CET. Yes. Yeah, so that's who I am, and I'm also a politician.
Yes. So now, how difficult was it, or how easy was it to get that job?
It was very difficult because, like I'm saying, I came here as a qualified teacher, but there was nothing that I could do. What I had actually forgotten is that there was a time when I was selling tomatoes and potatoes. You know, my former students loved me very much because they were visiting me. I suspect that they were coming to see how suffering I was in South Africa, because the moment I got a job, they never called me, they never wanted to visit me. But at my spot during that time, I was always having one former student, at least one a day or two, visiting me, promising that they would find employment for me.
So it was
Yes.
quite tough.
It was very difficult. I remember one of the days when Tsotsis came in the company where I was working, and they took our phones. They were kicking me like nobody's business. I was forced to lie down. So I was even thinking of coming back home. Then one friend of mine was saying, "Hey, what are you going to go and do at home?" Because I was saying, no, people were carrying guns and knives like this. I have got to go. But then, in fact, I did that for quite a short time. It was a few months. Then I heard that there was a college that was employing teachers. So I went and left my CV. Then I was employed.
There you are,
Yes.
Marvelous. So he's got a story to tell, you know. We always discuss politics with him, but today I wanted to know exactly who he is, you know.
Very interesting. I think most of the people that are actually in the diaspora have a lot of stories to tell, that when they get in the country that they are at, they might not actually get to do the job that they trained. And then when their paperwork is fixed or they get an opening, that's what happens, like what we're hearing from our guest here. Apo tiri kunzwa munyarikani vedu vari kutaura ivo zvavakasangana nazvo mushure mekupinda munyika yeSouth Africa kwavari. Vari kuti ivo vakange vari mudzidzisi, asi vakatomboitawo basa rimwe rekutengesa mbatata nezvimwe zvakadaro, vachitaura ivo kuti zvanga zvisiri nyore kuti vapinde imomo muSouth Africa vabva vawana basa. Vakati pane imwe nguva yavakatombowanikwa vachishungurudzwa nematsotsi, vakatofunga kuti zviri nani kudzokera kumusha. Asi shamwari yavo yakazovabvunza akati, ukadzokera kuZimbabwe uri kunobatei? Ndopavakazomira vachibva vazokanda CV yavo kune chimwe chikoro chepamusoro, college, vachibva vazotorwa uko vari kudzidzisa pari zvino. Saka ndo dzimwe nyaya dzatiri kunzwa ipo pano, uyezve tinoshuvira kuti pane madzimaiwo here vari pachirongwa tibva tanzwawo kubva kwavari kuti pane zvavari kusangana nazvo here munyaya iyoyi yekushanda uri kunze kwenyika yatinoti diaspora.
Yes, there was one lady who is doing domestic work who actually came and she wanted to tell us a bit about herself. So I'm sure one of them is going to join us shortly. So let's turn to Thembelihle Ndlovu. So sizokuthiwa-ke wahlupheka kakhulu ufika kwele South Africa, wathengisa amatamatisi, wenza lokhu lalokhu, so uthi impilo yayinzima kakhulu. So akusitshele ngamafutshane ngakhona.
Impilo yayinzima kakhulu. Ngifika lapha ngangisuke ngingumuntu okade ngumbalisi, ngamfundise eNkayi eMpumelelo High School. So ke nxa ngifika lapha ngathola ukuthi impilo inzima. Ngaqala ke ngathengisa amagwili lamatamatisi. Kwesinye isikhathi ngangithengisa ama-frozen, ngingaya elokuzeni eGoli ngangithengisa ngisethembisa. So ke leso sikhathi abafundi bami ngangike ngabafundisa babendithanda okunye okumangalisayo, ngoba kwakungatshoni ilanga bengabuyanga ukungivakatshela, bebezombona betshengisa uthando, bethembisa okungidingela umsebenzi. Kodwa ke ngonela ukuthi ngithole umsebenzi lami sokungathi sokuphileka, abasaphindanga bangivakatshela, okwenza ngazibuza ukuthi kathi kuthi ukuthi into ababengithandela yona ngalesani isikhathi kwakuyini. Ababehlala bemfonela, hawu mdala lapho kunjani, lapho ibhizimusi lihamba njani. But ke after that hayi ngathothi angisabuzwa. So ke ngifike ke kuthe ngisuka lapho ke ngasebenza ngingu-security guard. Ngikhumbula kakhulu ukudubeka okwenzakala kwelinye ilanga. Kubuya indoda engangisebenza layo khonapho, kanti uyibuya ihamba lomunye bengathi nje babili, kathi sesibanjwe inkunzi. Salifika salaliswa, kungangikhahleliso okungabafana, kungikhahlela ikhanda leli ukuthi angilale phansi. ngaze ngathi hayi mina madoda sembuyele ekhaya lapha hayi angeke ngikummeli lokho. So kwaba into enjengaleyo kwaya ke kodwa ke sengihleli ngase ngisiyafaka iCV yami kwelinye lokuzeni isikolo sikahulumende ke ngase ngiqhatshwa la namhlanje ngisasebenza ku department education and training.
Uboni ke isitori sakho sihle kakhulu baba sizwe ke uMarvelous sisinomama lapho Rumbidzayi Marvelous sizwe ututhini Rumbi.
Aiwa ndinofara kuti makwanisa kupinda pachirongwa madzimai vari pachirongwa avo taurai zita renyu nekwamuri nekuti ndangoti huyai mva matopinda taurai tinzwi. Hatisi kukunzwai.
Yeah, Taura, yeah, I think she's okay now.
Ndati makadi henyu mose ndofara zvangu.
Muri kubata mabasa apiko kuSouth Africa?
Ini ndoitwa Rumbidzayi kwazi. Ndongoitawo mabasa domestic work.
Saka zviri kuendeka here makasvika sei kuSouth Africa ikoko uyezve zviri kuendeka here kuti mubatsire vanhu kumusha?
Zvinenge zvakaoma asi hapana zvokuzviita nekuti tikada kusedzera kuti tirambe takagara kuZimbabwe kwacho zvinotori wese saka kunoku zvinotori nani.
Yeah, so don't move around because you get cut. So be in one place. Yes, continue, mom. Continue. Yes.
Okay. Ndinoona kunge zviri nani kunoku pane kuZimbabwe nekuti tiri kuZimbabwe ndaimboita zvekuenda kuZambia ndichihodha ndichitengesa kuZimbabwe. Kwakuchiri kunyanya kushanda US dollar. Saka ndakazoona zvatanga zvebhondi. Mwanga uchiti ukaenda kunohodha unongoziva zvekuZimbabwe vanhu vacho kazhinji unotengesa muchikweretesa ndizokolekta mandend. Paunoikolekta mari yacho inenge yatopera kudhara. Saka ndaiona panenge pasisina chauchaita pasina profit inenge ingori mari yaunenge uchingoti ikauya uri kutongoidya yobva yatongopera. Saka ndazongoona kuti beta tingoendawo kumhiri kwaLimpopo timbonoshandiswa tiri ikoko. At least kunotomboita zvinhu zviri nani zvinobatika.
Saka pari zvino pane nhuna here dzamuri kusangana nazvo kana kuti zvii zvamunosangana nazvo nyanya semadzimai makatarisawo uyezve zviri kuitika kuZimbabwe zvamungada kuona kuti remangwana muda kudzokera kuZimbabwe?
Semadzimai inini zvangu nhuna dzangu chaidzo anangoti dei Mwari atibatsirawo nyika yedu yakwanisa kuti right tidzokere nyika kwedu. Unoziva munhu kana uri kunyika kwako zvinhu zviri easy than kunyika yeumwe munhu ende kumba kweumwe munhu kweumwe mukadzi sisi mavhemi munozvinzwisisai muri munhu wemudzimai. Toti inini ndosiya kana kuti ndogara kuChinoi zvangu ndosiya imba yangu kuChinoi. Ndiri kuChinoi ndaimuka nguva dzandinoda ndichizviitira zvinhu zvandinoda nenguva yandinoda. Kana uri kuno unotoforswa kumuka kana 5:30 so that you can prepare vana kuti vaende kuchikoro chichi. Asi kana kubva kwako ugona kana na 10. Saka isusu tsviviro yedu semadzimai angosvika deni nyika yedu yangu yaitwa zvakanaka tadzokera kudzimba dzedu tinomuka tiri panguva yedu tichizvirimira zvedu mavheji edu tichizvihodhera tichitengesa tiri kumba tiri mukati mumba medu kwete izvi zvatiri kuita izvi tinenge tiri nani hedu tiri kunogara inenge na problem but hatisi tese tiri kurarama life iri nani sezvandinenge ndichiita. Vamwe vanotoshungurudzwa unotoona mumabhuku atei tiri kuti mamadzimai ange achita kuti ndonyema chikafu achita kuti ini ndorohwa nemunhu anotengechandira asi nangu handisandasanga nedambudziko rakadaro but asi seshuwa yedu semadzimai nekuwanda kwatakaita changoshuwa zvinhu zvakadzisika kunyika yedu tadzokera kuZimbabwe tanoshanda tiri panzvimbo.
Izvozvo semunhu ari pabasa tinonzwisisa. Saka pane mabasa here amuri kubata kuZimbabwe ekubatsirawo vanhu mataura kuti munobva kuChinoi?
Ndinoita ndichiti ndikawana mari kuno ndoenda kuDragon City ndohodha magubeze makamfota chindotumira kuChinoi zvonotengesewa. Saka zvino antivarimi atanga kutengesa fodya zvinoenda futi kuKaroi kumusha kwangu zvinotengeswa ikoko.
So how is it to work in such an environment? Do you find it challenging? How is it, Mama?
Yeah, challenge iripo. Munongo izvo zvandareva kuti kana usiri kunyika isiri yako chete nyika yekuti malanguages akatosiyana panenge vachitone challenge papa because unogona kusvikira nevamwe vanenge vachita hudhu, kusvikirwa nevamwe vari right, unongosangana nevanhu vakasiyana-siyana, asi ndo machallenges atosangana nawo isusu semumabasa edu imomo. Nenyaya yekuti vana dhudhula vanhu vomborohwa, last week iyo tainzwa kuti hanzi kunana chikwairiwa vanhu, tinenge tichizvinzwawo tichizviona zvichibuda, tinenge takutoshungurudzika kuti takutotyawo kubuda, kuti tikabuda muroti since inini ndisiri munhu womuno muSouth Africa ndogona kungobatwa futi ndoitwa izvozvo. Ndo machallenges atinenge tichingosangana nawo sevana veZimbabwe.
Taona tichinzwa mumwe munyarikani vanga vari kutaura kuti ivo vakambosangana netsekwende yekubatirwa pfuti vachibirwa zvinhu nezvinhu zvakadaro. Pane zvamuri kumbosangana nazvo?
Aina hangu handidi kunyepa, ndisandasangana nazvo, but kubudikidza nemukuverengawo nemukungonzwawo mumaTV vakawanda vanosangana nazvo. Kuno South Africa problem ndeyekuti chero munhu atakwa zvezve vamwe vanhu vakamira vanotosuduruka vakwanise kukumirira, even maZimbabweans chaivo vanotosuduruka kutoenda kunosvika kuziva vakwanise kuti vanhu vaite chigwirango zvezvokuti tibatsirane munhu anotofa kutoenda kumochari vanhu vakatarisa kudai. Ndo dambudziko racho rinenge riripo, asi nangu asandasangana nazvo.
Ewo mazwenyu ekupedzisira tinoona kuti muri pabasa uyezve tikutozwa vana vari kuda kuti chiuya isisi mutibatsire.
Havana vachotonetsa, vanonetsa kanaka kungodaidza.
Aiwa, munhu ari pabasa. Ndinotaura imi kuti shuro yenyu yanga iri yekuti vanhu vanyorese kuvhota, uyezve vakuvhota. Tiudzei nenyaya iyo.
Vanhu ngatinyorese kuvhota. Ndakatonyoresa kudhara ndokuenda panongonzi madhete ekunovhota asetwa. Ndakutogadzirirawo ini kutoudza vanhu vangu kuti ndinombomhanya kuZimbabwe kunovhotawo. Saka vanhu ngatiende, especially vanhu vari kunze ikoko, especially vari pamhiri paLimpopo vakawandisa vanhu vari kunze South Africa. Atitei tiende kunovhota. Aingoshira dai tanovhota tese neuwandi hwedu, I think zvinhu zvinogona kutichinjirawo tikabatsika.
Thank you very much.
Chaizvo muve nezuva rakanaka. Regai tichikuregedzai muende kubasa.
Alright, tizoita basa.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye.
So now we're hearing there from one lady who's actually based in South Africa. She's talking about her experience. She says she's a domestic worker, and she says her wish is for people to register to vote. And then she's also saying that she has actually been sending some clothing back home to raise money so that by the time she goes back home to Zimbabwe to vote, she will have a bit of income. So she has said she will leave South Africa and go to Zimbabwe when voting time comes. And she's already told her employers so that they give her leave when that happens, and then she'll be able to cast her vote according to her, so that the lifestyle that she's leading now can change. And she says her wish is to go back to Zimbabwe and resettle.
Wonderful. We've got Mduduzi Moyo. Baba Mduduzi, unjani?
Mr. Tube.
No, nyaphila kakhulu. Khathesi sikhuluma politics, sesikhuluma ngawe. Uthi kathi uMduduzi vele ngubani? Wangasitshela nje ngamafitshane ukuthi uMduduzi vele ngubani, njalo lokuthi wenzani khona manje kule South Africa. Usitshele ngakhona ke ngamafitshane ba. Qhubeka.
Hayi vele nami khonapha ngisemotweni ya driver 5 seconds kuphela. Hayi mina Mr. Dube ngumuntu ongasebenziyo nje ozihlanganiselayo, ukuthi mina ngenza electronics lo ngama restaurant okuncane ngiyathengisa, ngumuntu olento ezininginyana nje ezifaka imali, aso umuntu odinga umsebenzi futhi angufuni. Kodwa ke hayi umuntu ozihlanganiselayo kanjalo Mr. Dube, angihluphi umuntu, aso umuntu lo tshontshayo, umuntu ozisebenzayo nje kahle kahle.
So nxa abantu befuna ukuthola sezinto zakho bakuthola njani manje Moyo?
Umuntu mina Mr. Dube into engiyenzile electronics ngiyazi yonke, ngilabantu abasebenza ku electronics engisebenza nabo, engibafundisile abanye sebenza ngabakhampani kwabo okuncane. Then umuntu ofuna ukuthola inamba zami 078 5000 275.
Iphinde njalo
078 5000 275. Ofuna ukwazi nje electronics yonke nje, hayi uza kimi, bafana abaningi asengibafundisile, bazivulela amakhampani abo amancane, bazisebenzela akonke kumnandi.
Nxa ufisa ungakufaka la ngesilungu khonokho okhuluma ngakho mnumzana.
Ngikufaka ngeEnglish.
Nxa ungafisi uyathi hayi isilungu.
Hayi isilungu siyahlupha Mr. Dube, but I'm a technician I'm a technician as such. Anyone who want to, maybe you want to know about my job a little bit, you can call my number on 078 5000 275, because I think it's better.
Yes, singathi kuyini okwakususa eZimbabwe ukuze ubuye khonapho kule South Africa?
Hayi, owangisuse eZimbabwe Mr. Dube khona ukuthi njengomsebenzi vele khabe uthi uma uqeda isikole kula msebenzi into ezinjengalezo into ezenza size ngapha eSouth Africa uthola ukuthi akuyabambeka. So hayi khona kungcono shem, but isifiso sami kuye ekhaya, home is the best. So ngifuna uregister ngivote, then konke kube right ngibe sekhaya.
Awuboni ke valelisa khonapho abalaleli ba.
Balaleli, hayi siyabonga mpela, hayi abafuna ukuncediswa electronics yonke Mr. Dube kunumber zone ziyana, hayi kumnandi kakhulu. Hayi abafana abaningi asebavula amakampani abo badlule kimi ezandleni zami lapha, abanye sebeze bela makampani amakhulu kudlule yami.
So singathi ubambeza amagetsi into ezinjalo.
Yonke igesi Mr. Dube, electronics, everything vele zikimi, ngiyasapply ekhaya yonke inyakanyaka Mr. Dube.
Siyabonga kakhulu ke Mnumzana Mduduzi Moyo, ungathini lokusasa ba.
Thanks Mr.
Okay, let's get back to Mr. Masocha. Sorry, Professor Masocha, I think he's still around. So, Professor, you were saying a lot about your projects. What's next now in your village?
Well, what's next is to teach people in my village how to be like me and more. It's to teach people in my village and many more what money is all about. Because I wanted to respond to the lady, who was talking previously. Very good point, and thank you for everything she is doing. But for us to hope to go to Zimbabwe when things are okay, things are not going to be okay. If we are not going to make Zimbabwe okay ourselves by going to vote as she is, already registered and going to vote as well. So what's next for me is, voter education, teaching people what money is all about. I think everybody in the diaspora or not, we really need to know what money is all about. People think money is only cash. Absolutely not. From my readings and what I'm teaching, money, I broke down money into four things here. First, it's cash. That is the worst form of money people can rely on because it loses value every day. Okay. And the next form of cash is assets, fixed assets. And I'm not talking about things that I don't have. I'm not talking about things that I have not done or accumulated. Immovable assets and businesses as well. Because at the end of the day, those people who know money, you will hear them saying that they can enjoy everything they want to enjoy in life, in the world, as long as they are not the ones who are paying for it. And I'm one of those people. Okay, I'm not paying for it, but my knowledge of money and how I use money is helping me to pay for everything I want to pay. Okay, and then the other thing, those in the diaspora, please look into the stock market. Any one of us, wherever in the world, with the power of technology, the power of internet, you can actually thrive buying and selling stocks from anywhere in the world. The stock market never sleeps. The more we sleep, the lady who was talking about waking up anytime you want. Well, that's what some of us who don't have money believe in, sleeping. Okay. If you are one of the richest people in the whole world, Warren Buffett said that if you are not going to think of ways to make money while you are sleeping, then you are going to work for the rest of your life. Okay. You just need to find ways of making money, what is called passive income, money that comes into you whether you are dead or alive, whether you go to heaven and back. So that can only be found, by investing in assets or in the stock market. And then one thing we take for granted, of course, we are Africans. We don't even know that time is money. Another, form of money is time. And, Western people say time is money. Each and every one of us have 24 hours. If you find anyone with more or less, please refer that person to me, and I will give him or her whatever he wants. The way you use that time, look at how much we waste the time back home. We waste a lot of time, therefore we waste money. From the government to everybody else, let's value our time, let's sleep less and work more. We are going to sleep as much as we want when we die. Okay, so the knowledge of money is key. Zimbabwe is not going to be okay when we do not make it okay ourselves. So create your own job, invest in yourself. You as a human being, be a business itself. that is going to make an income, like what I have heard from people who are, doing plumbing, they invested in themselves through education, skills, and experience, and now they are getting profit from there, and then have various sources of income by not forgetting your raw areas. I'm not getting anything from home, but I'm getting prayers. That on its own is valuable. You just have to have some people who pray for you, okay, much as you pray for others as well. So invest in your own people back home.
Yes, maybe Marvelous would like to hear you saying that in Shona briefly.
Ndingada kuvunza kuti saka remangwana rakamira sei tichimbodzokera kumamisha kwamuri kubatsira. Zvii zvamungataurawo vamwe vakateerera pari zvino kuti ivo vangabatsirawo sei? Mumwe anoti ndiri kuita basa rangu, ndiri plumber, vamwe vari panapa nditicha, vari kutichawo kucollege, imi muri muzvinafundowo, muri kuzvikoro zvepamusoro iko kuno, asi vangabatsira sei kumamisha, kuti vanotanga sei kunzvimbo kwavanobva?
Chikuru chetingabatsira kumamisha kudzidzisa ruzivo rwatava narwo rwatakaonawo kune dzimwe nyika, nokuti tose kwatiri takaona zvimwe zvinhu zvisiri kuZimbabwe zvatinofana kuti isu tidzidzise vanhu kubva kumba kwedu kubvira mumba chaimo. Ndofunga ndatombotumira mupikicha waamai vari mumba kuno kuAmerica uko vakacreata mabasa mumba mavo, vakandoda kitchen manager mumba mavo imomo, kudzidzisa vana vavo kuti aiwa, mari haikumbirwi, mari inoshandirwa. Munhu wese patiri panapa wakatombobata mari pane imwe nzvimbo, asi chakazongosiyana chete kukwanisa kushandisa mari iyoyo. Saka what's next kumusha kudzidzisa vanhu? Pandinoenda pese pamapicture pano handinetsi kuona nokuti ndiri mutema kudarika vamwe vose ikoko. Muchaona mapicture mukaenda paFacebook ndichidzidzisa vanhu vokumusha. Patakaita macompetition amabhora vakahwina, ndakabva ndavadzidzisa kuti aiwa, zvamahwina izvikai imbeu, imbesa. Kana wapiwa mari imbeu, dzvara mari iyoyo, ziva kurima mari. Kana ukaziva kurima mari, haufi wakanetseka pano pasi pese. Saka tose tiri maticha, hazvinei nokuti une chitupa cheuticha here seni navamwe vambotauravo. Aiwa, une zvimwe zvawakatombodzidzavo, dzidzisawo unotevera, kunyanya kana mwana wako womudzidzise kushanda mabasa amavoko pamwe chete nokushandisa mari, nokuti at the end of the day mari inonzi is how you use it. Ini zvimwe zvizhinji zvandakaita, ndakatanga kuita professor 2013. Otherwise ndakauyawo kuAmerica ndikandotsvaira matoilet, mawarehouse mese ndinoziva kuita. Asi makore 3 ndauya muAmerica, mashandisiro andakaita mari kuZimbabwe, kucreata basa rangu, kucreata salary yangu yokuZimbabwe inogona kukashamadzai kuti in 3 years chete ndakanga ndatenga dzimba 6 muguta reMasvingo, kucreata salary yangu inini pachangu nebasa. Kwa kana ndakudzokera kuZimbabwe, handidi kunotorera vanhu vari kuZimbabwe basa vasina kwavakamboinda. Ndofana kudzokera kuZimbabwe nebasa rangu ini pachangu, ndondocreata basa ravamwe zvekare. Ndine cake business riri kuHarare. Ina handigona kubika makeke, chandinacho chete macustom. Asi ndakataurira macustom angu, kana uchida kutenga makeke kuna amai ava, unototenga makeke e5 years dzinotevera kuti urarame nokusingaperi. Saka ndine limit, ende amai vavo vari kutohaya vamwe vanhu kugadzira makeke. Munhu unototenga kwamacustom angu ndinavo vanotenga 5-10 years, nokuti birthday richauya chete.
Thank you so much, Mr. Masocha. There is one guy, Douglas, who says, thank you so much for your advice, Professor Masocha. And thank you so much. Sikubaba-ke uNdlovu. Ndlovu, uyangizwa kumbe awungizwa?
Ngikuzwa kahle baba, ngikuzwa kahle kakhulu baba uDube.
Sesiyafika emaphethelweni nohlelo lwethu. So sicela ukuthi usitsheleke ukuthi kuyiwa phambili umsebenzi wakho kuya ngaphi ngokubona kwakho.
Ukubona kwami baba uDube ngesifiso enginaso, njengoba namanje siphusha lo msebenzi sisemazweni abanye abantu abanikazi, uyayibona? Isifiso enginaso Dube njengamanje ngifisa ukuthi nje kube thu igovernment yethu iyasenzela kube lula thina sinamathuba okwenza imisebenzi nokwenza nokuletha ubuhle ezweni lakithi. Isenzele kube lula masifuna ukuvula amakampani, ngikhuluma ngokuregister amakampani. Ngithi mina njengoba mina ngilapha kwaMthwakazi, abangivumeli ukuthi makuthiwa kunethende liba khona bake bazama ukuthi babone ukuthi labafana abancane abanamakampani amancane aregister manje babanikeze ithenda, and then sizobona yonke into yethu iphumelela. Kodwa ungakuthatha ukubheka iningi lethu intsha yonke ila eMzansi yenza umsebenzi wezandla ila eMzansi. Into ziba zinhle, ziqhubeka siba zinhle kumakhelwane wezwe lethu. So isifiso enginaso mina iso ukuthi i-government yethu ayisivumele ngobuncane bethu sikwazi uku-aplayela ama-company ethu a-approve basinike imisebenzi, nathi uzobona indawo yakithi ithuthukisa ibandla kusukusela ezandleni zabantu. Njengoba eshilo ubaba laphana ukuthi uyahamba uyobona into enhle engekho eZimbabwe, usuke nayo uyoyenza eZimbabwe, ucreate imisebenzi futhi kwabanye abantu, nokhona kuyanciphisa ukuba nobugebengu ezweni.
So ke wena ekhaya kukhona okunye okwenzayo yini okunceda abantu into ezinjalo? Mafutshane baba.
Into engikhuluma manje Dube ngisase busy ngenza ugesi emaphandleni, angakangena etawuni, kodwa okwamanje ngisaqala ukuthi ngiregister i-company yenza ugesi for electric power from solar panel converting ku-inverter through battery ibese siba yi-220 volts. Ngikhuluma ngemaphandleni emakhaya. Ugesi siyawenza, nginabantu abasekhaya already okwamanje ngina 2 abantu abasiza abantu ukuthi uma umuntu ethengile lana eGoli siyatransporta kufika ekhaya, makufika ekhaya bayahamba abafana bayomjubhela umuntu ekhaya kukhanye uthole nje kungathi kusedorobheni. So into engikhuthaza kakhulu kuloko engikhulumayo, singabheka ematawuni ugesi uyahlupha ukho, uyohlala iviki yonke ugesi ungekho, uthola ukuthi kuze kugcine kuba nobugebenga bokucasha bezinto ezindlini ngendaba yogesi ungekho, nezinto ziyamosheka kuma-fridge. So into esayisoka ngayinaka kakhulu ukuthi emakhaya la esiphuma khona emakhaya engasabala ematawuni kuyadingeka ukuthi kube nombani ukuze phela namakhosikazi ethu akwazi ukuthi athande ukuya ekhaya, ngoba ikhaya into yakudala bese kufutha ngotshani masifungena endlini. Manje sesiwubonile ugesi ukhona etawuni, sesiwubonile ugesi ukhona eGoli ugcwele yonke indawo eSouth Africa kunama-light ezitradeni, sesiwuthethe sawufaka emakhaya. And then masiwufaka emakhaya i-company ithi Trust Electrical and Plumbing, and then siya-supplya i-solar panel system ugesi ube nawo.
Thank you very much. That is Mr. Thembelihle Ndlovu. So Marvelous is now trying to implement a certain program in rural areas, So he's saying he's using, solar power for that kind of purpose, just to bring some electricity to the village where he comes from, So I think the guy is doing a wonderful job. Maybe you can talk to Mr. Ncube, and then we will then sign off later. Go ahead, Marvelous.
Maybe Mr. Ncube, I'm not sure if you speak Shona, but anyway, I don't know. Do you?
No, I don't speak, but I will hear you. Whatever you are saying, I will be getting the message.
No, that's fine. You can just give us a brief to say, so what's the way forward for you, especially when it comes to taking some of the knowledge that you've learned in South Africa back to your hometown, like the challenge that we had from Professor Masocha. What's the way forward for you personally?
The way forward for me is that I'm going back to Zimbabwe. I'm looking forward to what I will do there, but for now I can't tell because here there is a lot of challenges now. I cannot withstand this, so I've got to go home and see what I can do. It's unfortunate that there were times when I was doing some businesses there, but for 1 or 2 reasons, some of the things I had to stop doing them. But as I go back, I will have to reflect on what I've got to do. I agree with the professor that we should not be waiting for it to be okay, but we need to make it okay in Zimbabwe.
Thank you so much.
So khonokho office uthi uyekwenza ekhaya ngapha unganise kubaba eSouth Africa. So office uthi uyenzani ngoba siyakhumbula ukuthi wasitshela ukuthi wagijinyiswa ngabantu laphana usungu security. So
yeah, mina engikucabanga ekhaya yikuthi ngizafika ngeluse inkomo zami ezikhona khonaphana bese ngidinga amacebo ukuthi kuyini engingaziphilisa ngakho, kumbe ngile sawudo engingalithengisisa njengoba abantu isawudo belithanda, ngizabe mbathengisela le sawudo. Bese ngivumelana lokuthi nguprofessor ukuthi singameleli ukuthi kuthiwe eZimbabwe sokuright. Liphutha ke mina engalenzayo ngoba belokho ngimelela ukuthi khona akuqale kube right, namhlanje akukho right, lapha sokulumela kusahlaleki. so kumele ukuthi ngibuyele ke ngizacela omakhelwane bangeluleke ukuthi ngingenzani ukuthi ngiziphilise ngoba bona bakujwayele khona ngale.
Wena kodwa ubona zani ungenzani?
Ekufikeni kwami for now I can't say ukuthi ngibona ukuthi ngenzani hayi angeke ngitsho for now ukuthi ngifuna ukwenzani, but next year ngizabe sengikwazi ukuthi kuyini engizakwenza. Yes.
So Professor, we've got Mr. Nhlanhla Moses Ncube who's planning to go back home. What advice can you give him? He says right now he's not thinking of any big project or any project, but what's your advice?
Well, my advice is that if you are not thinking of any big projects, then for yourself, think of projects for other people. A grinding mill is one thing you can just buy. A certain group of maybe the youth for them to manage themselves. So you can teach from anywhere you are in the world. If you look at my Facebook page itself, what I post is a lot of knowledge in there, so that people can actually learn how to manage themselves, how to manage their money as well. So as a teacher like me, you have a responsibility to teach every day and night. Okay, so do not sit on your education, your skills, and your experience. Otherwise, we look up to people like you. You learned a lot in Zimbabwe. You have learned a lot in South Africa, and you are teaching South Africans. So why can't you teach your own people back home in any way? We have internet now where you can even, if you cannot send anything on the internet, please write letters of advice, teaching people how to do certain things. And so that's the advantage we have, that we are able to help people from anywhere where they are, when we are anywhere in the world, using the internet, internet resources. A text message that you can send to motivate someone, it's going to help the person maybe to go and register to vote. All of us can educate people the importance of voting and what they should do instead of just registering to vote. Go to a rally and then don't vote, because if you don't vote, you have already voted for the winner.
Very interesting. Yes, Ncube.
Yes, thank you very much for that, Professor. You are reminding me that there is work that we are doing. I mean, for Nkai development, we are having what is called the Nkai Community Parliament, and I'm the speaker of Nkai Community Parliament, where we discuss issues, developmental issues. I was taking it lightly, but as you are saying it now, it makes me talk about it. So those programs, we also have what is called Zimbabwe Former Students Association. Recently, we posted on our Facebook page. We were helping there at the school, donating stuff. They are drilling a borehole there. The kit for the school, books as well. So those are some of the things that I've been doing, which means that when I'm there, it means that the Speaker of Parliament will be there on the ground doing his work. So thank you very much for making me realize what I thought what we are doing is small, but as you are saying it, I'm seeing that we are on track. Thank you very much.
Yes, siyakuzwa kakhulu ke ungafaka ngesindebele khona kungamafutshane. Salary 30 seconds.
Ngithi siyabonga kakhulu, usengivule amehlo uprofessor ukuthi kukhona vele inhlelo esizenzayo. Sesabumba okuthiwa yiNkai Community Parliament, lapho esikhuluma ngendaba eze development eNkai, okuhluphayo eNkai. Bengingathi ngikuthatha kancinyane, nginguSpeaker ke imusomlomo owedale elenkai Parliament. Then futhi kuzwe labo former students, ngingomunye ngililunga elakhona lapho esafunda khona. So nje kuviki elipheleyo le besihambise impahla khona ngalo okuyancedisa ukudrilwa kwesibhorane, ikit yabantwana besikolo lama exercise books ebesincedisa ngakho. Yes, siyabonga kakhulu.
Thank you very much. On that note, we wish to thank our guests this evening, Miss Rumbidzayi, who is in South Africa, Mr. Nhlanhla Moses Ncube, Mr. Thembelihle Ndlovu, Mr. Mduduzi Moyo, Professor Elliot Masocha, and all those that attempted to join our program but couldn't join because of technical issues. So signing off from Maryland, this is Gibbs Dube saying good night, everybody. We're going to meet again on Friday. Marvelous.
Marvelous, Nhlanhla Nyahuye. Just saying, those who are wanting to follow Professor Elliot Masocha, he is on Facebook. Look for him on Professor Elliot Masocha. I see a lot of comments of people that really want to follow some of his teachings. And thank you once again to the professor for having been a guest.
Good night. Yes, good night, Marvelous.
Nhlanhla Nyahuye.
Good night. Bye-bye.